I did it, boys. Found the new meta. You're probably wondering what that intro is all about, so let me explain. So I turned my Xbox on after, not playing for a couple days, so I instantly went to Archon's Forge to get me a Saladin's Vigil. As we all know, Archon's Forge is very boring, so what I was doing is I was sword flying all over the place, shooting things with Telesto just to pass the time. Little did I know, this might be a new tech skill. When I say tech skill, I mean technical skill, and that's just a fancy way of saying that I input a lot of buttons really accurately and reliably. To give you an idea of what kind of skill this is going to take, a while back I did a video on shoulder charging while shooting a fusion rifle, and it's kind of along the same lines. So I'll show you an example of this tech skill. Now, fair warning, do not blink. I don't mean in-game, like don't blink your eyes, you might miss this. So you might be asking yourself, what the hell am I even doing? That's okay. It's a bit complicated. For lack of a better name, I think I'm gonna coin this term sword strafing. I know, very creative, Cammy, very creative. But what this allows is you to slide out of cover, put a shot in, switch to your sword, and then right bumper melee backed into cover. A lot faster than just simply peeking in and peeking out. Not to mention, when you slide, only half of your body is exposed, as well as the sword swipe itself also has a lunging crouch motion, so it's a bit harder to hit. Imagine you're shooting just the legs of a guardian, because that's about how high your hitbox is going to be. Depending on what weapon you're using at the time, whether it's a primary, a fusion rifle, a sniper, a shotgun, whatever, it kind of changes up the approach. An interesting feature with warlocks and the sword is that if you swipe while simultaneously activating your focus burst ability, you will fly a little bit. It's called sword flying, by the way. Pretty sure that's what people call it in the Destiny community. Not to be confused with the Halo sword flying. If that was in the game, that'd be pretty crazy. I mean, it kind of is with Stormcaller melee, but the point is, if you're a warlock, you can do the simple shoot and swipe, but instead of just swiping, you activate the jump ability, and that throws you into a sword fly. You can use that momentum to put you in cover that's a little bit far away from a single swipe, or to put you up in the air ready to melee somebody. And that, my friends, is all I know about sword strafing. I mean, I can speculate a lot, which I'm about to do. The gameplay in the background, it's not really important. So if you watched the video up until this point, you should totally understand how to sword strafe into cover. The rest of this video, like I just said, is going to be pure speculation on what else you can do with this tech skill. Now, if you recall from a couple months ago, there used to be a shade step glitch where if you open your ghost, it lets you wildly shade step and things of that nature. I'm wondering if, similar to sword flying, there's something to do with simultaneously swiping while shade stepping and jumping. I doubt it's there, but maybe someone can figure it out. Now we have the option of shoulder charge. Does that really offer any advantages to this? Like, if I was to activate shoulder charge, slide around the corner, shoulder charge out, and then swipe an additional time into cover. Would it work, or would I have too much delay for it to work? And furthermore, would I be able to shoot while doing it? It's painfully obvious that I haven't really tested this much, but I do assure you it works in PvP, as far as the warlock sword flying into cover. And coincidentally, it works perfectly with Telesto. You slide out, shoot a burst to Telesto, then swipe right into cover, and then start pointing at people while they explode. So that ends the speculation, so feel free to try anything I thought of, maybe put some more speculation in the comments, and we'll all try these new things as a community. Maybe we'll stumble upon something as cool as shade step glitching. For the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about swords in PvP. They aren't really used too often. And when I say used, I don't mean used as a novelty like most people do. The only exception to that rule is probably Boltcaster, because it sends projectiles out of the sword. Otherwise, most people just use the sword to either try to bounce shit back with the Radagast, or they camp in a bubble with the sword. Anything other than those scenarios, a machine gun, and definitely a rocket launcher beats a sword almost every single time. However, there is a huge advantage to having a sword equipped despite not using the actual sword heavy ammo. Now I'm going to play a very old video that I made back probably, I almost want to say a year ago. But this particular video showed the advantages of using a sword, just the hilt, to see third person in Inferno mode. Now there are advantages to being third person in non-Inferno game types, like for example, shade stepping. Most people use shade step not because it makes you, I don't know, very hard to hit. It throws you into third person so you can quickly assess all the things going on around you. Since the beginning of Destiny, PvPers have always used emotes to see around the corner. So if you get shot by somebody, you go into cover, and then you start sitting down so that as it kicks your camera into third person, you can quickly move your right controller stick and see around the corner. I'll talk more about that sort of thing in a second, but I really want to show you this clip.
And we're back with Game 3 of the Destiny Grand Finals, sponsored by Lady Speedstick. We followed Team Namco in the last game, now we're following Team Carbicide. My co-commentator is in the restroom right now, so we pulled another team member from Team Firefly to help me commentate. So, do you think it was a smart decision for Team Carbicide to push in like this?
Bad news!
I couldn't agree more. Now Vox is in there left to fend for himself while Wrath is trying to get in. He missed his blink, he's just a little late to the party. Now he's being told by his teammates to back up.
Beat down!
No kidding, Vox and Cammy were just not good enough to handle that 2v3. Oh, Cammy decided to use the sword. He can see in third person. I'm not sure if that's within regulations, so I'm gonna have to check the rule book real quick.
The rules are simple.
So it turns out, yes, that swords are allowed.
So as you can see from that clip, I was pulling out the sword so I could see third person, and then I would toss sticky grenades at people. I could see in third person, they couldn't. Sticky grenades pretty much tracked them. I had no disadvantage. Granted, my aim was kind of shit, that's why I didn't stick them with the grenades, but you get the point. For a while there, I thought I was the only PvPer who used swords for uses other than swiping and insta-killing people with heavy ammo. Eventually, I started noticing other PvPers catching on. Now, although they weren't using the swords like I was using, they were using the sword to substitute sitting to look around a corner. Now, the first person I've ever seen to use the sword like I've used it is Invicta, and holy shit has he made it look good. For me, it was kind of a novelty thing that I did every now and then when Inferno rolled around, but Invicta, I'll link his channel, Invicta used it to stick people in 1v1s, see around the corner, and be overall evasive. The reason I'm mentioning Invicta is because using the sword in this manner, it takes a lot of practice. Because even when you're tossing the grenade, you don't aim for the center of the crosshair. It's a little bit to the left of center. And then you gotta account for the arc of the grenade, and so forth. That being said, it's complicated. It's not as easy as you think. So Invicta is the perfect example of someone to look at if you want to use the sword in PvP. Now, the entire reason for me making this video isn't just to say, oh look, I can press buttons quickly. It's to say, the sword can be useful in PvP. Now, I want to see someone push that to its absolute limits. I want to see some amazing shit with the sword. I started using Radiance lately with just my sword hilt out, throwing fusion grenades. And I've been slaying people like that. It's a lot of fun. But I still think that all of you guys out there can do better. It kind of makes you wonder if people start getting good with using the sword mid-combat to both strafe, fly, and look around corners, and toss fusion grenades, if they'll be banned in competitive Destiny. If, like, Planet Destiny is probably having another tournament coming up, are they going to say no sword hilts? Well, that about wraps up the video. That pretty much covers everything I wanted to say, so you guys enjoy using your sword hilts, master them, get good with them, shit on me in Rumble, whatever you want to do. Now, for those of you that are new to this channel, consider subscribing. My voice, yeah, it's a bit fucked up right now because I have a cold, but I'll get over that. I'll get back to being buttery smooth with the occasional voice crack. Forget I did that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Man, this Iron Banner sucks. Really?
Saladin hasn't.
I have to buy the vendor version? I didn't even get high cals and brace frame? How am I supposed to compete in the Crucible now? How am I supposed to compete in the Crucible now? Lady Efforty, this is all your fault.
The older wouldn't
This is your fault.
She did.
You did this to me. Now I gotta buy this
Always
stupid
welcome in
gun.
the Iron Banner.
Oh, I didn't notice you there.
Fight.
Well, you made it to the end of the video, so might as well subscribe, right?